Greetings fellow engineers and welcome here on Tartaross Inc. This time I want to talk with you about the do's and don'ts when it comes to uploading stuff to the workshop. This may help you to get more views, likes and comments on the project you spent a lot of time completing, and might even get you a few followers burning to see a new workshop item from you. In the background you can see some of my older videos just so we have a little bit of movement. Before we start with the kind of advanced stuff, let's talk about the obvious don'ts, which you should never ever do on the workshop. They should be pretty self-explaining, so I will only quickly mention them. Do not republish the work of others. If you upload a modification of someone's work, don't sell it as your own, always give proper credit with links. Do not delete negative comments, only if it's clearly spam like this whole Bob is taking a shit stuff. Instead try to use those to improve your next build. Do not spam popular workshop items comment sections with links to your own build. Overall, don't be a douche, always try to be polite and helpful. Now that we have those out of the way, let's go over the kind of advanced tips I can give you. I don't see myself as the almighty Mr. Workshop Miyagi, but those tips helped me to get a larger number of followers, likes and comments, so maybe those can apply to you as well. First off, the presentation. Your build can be the most stylish, technical, advanced and thought through masterpiece on the whole workshop. If your presentation sucks, no one will take notice of it. So be sure that the description answers the most common questions like: what is this build designed for? Is it survival ready? How does this one work, especially when uploading something with a shitload of timers and other moving parts that require a certain way of operation, include a manual. Does this one use mods? If it does use mods, which ones? For that you can fill out the required items list on the right side. In short, ask yourself what a potential viewer could ask to himself when looking at your workshop page. But that's not all for the presentation. One of the most important factors when it comes to viewers is a kick-ass thumbnail. The best way to do this is making a screenshot, renaming it to thumbed JPEG and putting it into the folder of the world you want to upload. But beware, every time you save the world, the thumbed JPEG gets overwritten. So this should be the absolute last thing to do before uploading. And one pro tip: deactivate the crosshair when making screenshots, as well as pressing tab to disable the HUD. Always looks cleaner and nicer. Speaking of screenshots, always provide the potential viewer with a lot of screenshots, showing the, for example, ship from different angles, the interior and maybe some detail. But whatever you do, no one likes screenshots that are mostly black because you took a picture of shadows. If you want to light up something, use a little ship with spotlights to provide an extra light source. The last tip when it comes to presenting your item: try to use English. If you don't speak English, well, I guess you wouldn't watch this video, but anyways, find someone to help you or use, for example, Google Translator so that the viewers can maybe assume what you want to say. The build. Now, at the end of the day, the build you are about to upload is the most important part, so before publishing it, I want you to ask yourself a few questions. Is this build really ready to be shown to the public? Is everything working as flawless as possible? Is my build as easy to operate as possible? Is my build not looking like a trash can with guns? To answer those questions, let me explain to you what could come in handy when building something. First off, the lighting. For me, it doesn't have to be a fancy light show, but let me put it this way: if I want to walk in complete darkness, I'd rather play Outlast, not Space Engineers. What I want to say with that: make sure that the lighting is at least set up in a way that I and every other viewer doesn't have to use our flashlights. Especially in DX11, a lack of light can destroy a whole build. Second, if you were a stranger visiting your ship, would you know what each button does or how to open this hangar doors? No? Well, then you should think about labeling everything correctly. Use a text panel near the button panel, or at least name your groups and timers correctly. Open doors, trigger now, sounds a lot better than timer block 1,480,716, trigger now. Also, if you have a cockpit with quickbar that has a lot of stuff to activate on it, place a manual in-game on the text panel or LCD. For example, place a text panel with a manual next to the cockpit, so that the pilot only has to look left or right if he is unsure which button to press. Now to the last section. Those points are kind of standalone and I felt they don't fit in one of the prior categories. I will quickly mention those and tell you what I mean. DX9 versus DX11. Simple. If you upload something that is not completely vanilla, tell your viewers in the description if the mods you used are compatible with DX11. World versus Blueprint. While you can upload a vanilla build as a world or a blueprint, I would highly recommend uploading modded stuff as a world. It can be pretty annoying to set up a new world with the needed mods to be able to spawn in a workshop item. Uploading a modded build as a world file makes everything easier, and at the end of the day, if the viewers like your build, he can make himself a blueprint from the world file. Mod overkill. It is completely fine to use hundreds of mods while building, but before publishing, only leave the mods you actually used on this in the mod list. I remember a time when someone sent me a link to a build with 250 plus mods in it. Do I have to say more? And try to keep the number of mods reasonable, especially now that with the DX11 update those mods became extremely big in size. Give credit. If you got inspired by another build, mention it in the description. If you are using mods, link those. If someone helped you with the build, give credit. So yeah, give credit. Oh, and did I mention to give credit? Work in progress versus finished build. Sure, you can upload the work in progress build, but be sure to state that in the description. Because I know a few people out there, including me, that don't want to spend their time on something unfinished. And if you are still working on it, be sure to upload the finished build separately. Okay, we're done I guess. I hope you liked it. And if you found this video helpful, funny or interesting, be sure to leave me a like. And do you want me to do stuff like this more often? Write it down to the comments. Also check out the description for links to Twitter, Twitch and the other usual suspects. I hope to see you all next time, and as always, keep on engineering and cheers!